What's up everyone, this is Awesome. Our guest today is the winner of the Nike Air Max Vote Forward campaign last year and also the owner of Round 2 store, Sean Wotherspoon. So Sean, what is it like to be the winner of that Vote Forward campaign?
It's pretty cool actually. It was a lot of fun. Like the whole process, the whole adventure, like the whole journey has been pretty sick. It's like one surprise after another. I feel like I'll wake up in the morning and like there's like something waiting for me on Instagram, you know, like I don't know, some like new news, or it's exciting. I think it's a lot of fun.
What happened is actually when you heard the news about you won?
Yeah, I mean, I was Nike had thrown kind of like a Air Max party, and I guess like it was like part of the Air Max like Vote Forward event. That's when they announced it, and it was just pretty crazy. I was with all my friends. Dude on the mic announced it. It was pretty nuts. I felt crazy. It didn't really. It took a while to hit me, you know. Like takes a few days for it to sink in.
Did it change your personal life? Make any change? Like would people just come up and ask about your shoes?
Yeah, yeah, definitely a lot more like a lot more conversation, which I enjoy. So it's like a cool conversation starter, easy way to meet people. I don't know. Yeah.
When I first saw the conceptual image of this shoe, the color was actually different.
Okay.
It's more like a moss green.
Yeah, yeah.
So it turned out this way, which is awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
So why does it change?
Yeah, so the story behind that was this was actually our original design. This was like the color that I wanted from square one. But when we had to mock it up at Nike, I was being really specific about showing like this corduroy texture, because since people were going to be voting online without seeing it in person, I wanted to be represented as well as possible. And so to give the corduroy that look of having a texture, they had to add like some kind of like shadow or do something to it. And so that's what made it look that green color. So if you look at the pictures where it looks green and you really look, you can see that it's this yellow, but it's like, it's got this shade so you can see the texture, and it kind of messed it up.
So it's just Photoshop?
Just Photoshop, yeah, exactly.
I noticed that we saw the smiley face patches.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it on this.
So the smiley face patch comes with the shoes. So when you open the box, there's a dust bag, a yellow corduroy dust bag, and then there's a patch about this big, and it's a blue smiley face, and you can.
It's blue, right?
Yeah, and you can put it on whatever you want, like your jacket or your shirt. Yeah, like right there. Boom, sick. Yeah, that's sick. You can make like a Velcro patch out of it. Like it's pretty cool.
So what does this wave patch mean?
So the wave was just kind of to represent, my trip was from Virginia to LA, East Coast to West Coast. Moved to LA, you're kind of moving to the beach. So the wave kind of represented that. But then also when I had gotten my group of friends together to kind of like help me go over ideas for the shoe and stuff like that, one of my homies had just said like, man, this is gonna be a wave. So we kind of just went along with it, like this is gonna be a wave, like this is gonna maybe start a new wave of something, I don't know. We didn't know, but we just felt like the wave was pretty reminiscent of that.
You talked about you you opened another store besides Richmond, Virginia, right?
Yeah, so I actually did move too.
You did move?
Yeah.
Why, in the first place, you want to move to LA and open another store?
Yeah, so we opened our store in Virginia. We had it going for a couple years, and we had our online show going on YouTube called The Show by Round 2. And we started to realize that we had a lot of viewers in California, and we had a couple friends out there, and they told us that, you know, people were talking about Round 2, and they like knew about our store on the East Coast all the way on the West Coast. So to us, that was really cool. And we traveled out there just to see, you know, what the market was like and everything. And we realized that our show and our store was pretty popular, and that's what gave us the idea to move. And obviously, like, the weather is really nice in California, so that was also awesome.
So could you please tell us the most weird story happened in the Round 2 store?
Ooh,
any store.
Wow, just weird?
Yeah, most
wow,
weird.
That's...
Like people would bring weird stuff to you guys.
Oh my gosh.
You guys sell it.
Yeah, we've had the weirdest stuff come in. Oh my goodness. I don't even know where to begin.
Just tell us one. The first one pops up.
Weird, huh? Lots of fake stuff. People bring in really weird fake stuff sometimes, like colors of things that never came out, and that's always pretty crazy. Sometimes people bring in things, and one guy left a gun in his shoe, a pistol, and we found it. It was crazy.
You found it?
Yes, in the shoe. It was really kind of scary.
You didn't see it when you...
It was the weirdest thing. It was in one of his Jordans. And we just kind of like, when we did the buy, we opened the box, like it was a pair of Jordan 11s, like you open it and you pull it out, and the person buying them must have looked and been like, all right, cool, they look good, must have taken out the other shoe. Crazy.
So now we know that you can use sneakers to hide your gums.
You can do that, yeah.
I never know that.
It's a good stash spot. We found a lot of things in sneakers.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Then let's go back to the shoes. Cool. So what is like to bring something from a print into the actual product?
It's actually a really good feeling. I think it's pretty important for everyone to feel that in some type of way, whether it's
because we're
like,
not designers.
Well, I'm not a designer either, which is kind of crazy. Like I think when I was chosen for the Vote Forward thing, I was more or less just like a sneaker advocate. You know, I obviously like had a lot of design in my head and lots of ideas I would like to do, but up until that point, I didn't really have much opportunity to design anything. And you know, maybe things that I had done for myself as far as clothing. But yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, having an idea and coming up with something and then seeing that idea turn into like a physical item, whether it's like you had an idea to get a job and you got the job, or like you had an idea to make something and you made it. It's pretty important. It just feels good knowing that like stuff's possible.
So could you take us through the process of you working with Nike?
Yeah.
And made this?
Yeah, I mean, the long story short of the process was I got together my focus group of my friends. We had a graphic designer there at the time, Henry Song, and as we were going over ideas, you know, we would tell him like, okay, Air Max 97 with the Air Max 1 sole. Boom, he would draw it. And then we would start going over colors, and then we would go over like the mini swoosh, and then this swoosh, and we would start to kind of break it down. And then that was, you know, we had an image at the end of that. And that was the one I always post on Instagram, where it's like a drawing and there's like all the other stuff. And once we had that, Nike flew us out to campus, and we each were teamed up with like a Nike designer. We got to see like, you know, all the different areas, like the kitchen, where they come up with like the cool ideas and the one-of-ones and the weird sample stuff. I don't know, it's pretty cool. It's pretty inspiring there. But we got to see all the areas. We teamed up with the designer. Like they then mocked up our design, which is when I was speaking about like when the color kind of changed on mine. So we sat with a person, we went through, mocked it up on the computer, and then at that point it was just kind of just up to posting it. Nike, you know, did a couple like really cool pushes and things like that, and like parties and stuff. Started the whole voting. We had like voting designated areas in different stores. It was pretty cool, honestly. Once I had won, then Nike brought me back out to campus a few times. They would show me a sample, and then I'd be like, I don't like this or that, or like change this.
Did you change anything from the original design?
Not from what I originally wanted. Like this is what I wanted, but we had to change things from like just the first couple samples, you know? Like maybe the type of corduroy. I think we changed the laces, because like I always wanted these like more cottony, like
round ones?
kind of like it's more of like furrier laces, kind of. I think
more
like
hairy, right?
More hairy. I think the first sample came with like, you know, more of like a slick version. The first sample, like I always wanted this type of, this is something we changed. We wanted to do
Danny.
We wanted to do a selvage denim here. So I wanted there to be like a red line from like this, like, you know, when you flip your jeans over and there's like that line, I wanted that right here. But we realized that it was hard to get that line with such a small piece of denim. So that was changed from the original just to like an all blue piece like that. But
it turned out fine.
Yeah, I mean, the first sample had like a different material, so we changed it.
I mean, like I saw you 5 or 6 times, and every time I saw you, you were wearing these shoes.
Yeah.
When are you ever gonna take this off?
No, probably never. I really like wearing them. I have this weird feeling of like if I'm not wearing them one day and I run into someone and I'm not wearing them, then I feel like it's weird. Because I feel like it's like my coolest thing. Like I wanna run into you wearing my shoes, so then you can be like, oh, that's them. Like, shh. Also
your hat.
Oh yeah, the hat. Yeah.
So that comes with the shoe.
I don't know if it comes with the shoes, actually. I'm not too positive. I did the hats for Nike Sportswear, also did some shirts, and I think we're just like still figuring out, you know, when exactly those will hit the market or whatever.
Do you go online and check like StockX's, eBay's to see how much this shoe's worth nowadays?
I don't really look them up too much. I tend to just go on eBay.
Okay.
You know, I never really got into the StockX and Goat apps too much. I don't know why.
That's the same thing for us.
Yeah, I just kind of like an eBay guy. I'm more comfortable on there.
So as a owner of a vintage store or consignment store, So what's your opinion about reselling sneakers?
I think it's okay. So there's a place for reselling. I feel like. I always say like try to be as fair as possible, just because I mean you're reselling, so it's like you're charging someone more than something's worth essentially. So I feel like if you're gonna do that, you have to do it as reasonably as possible, if possible. And I feel like reselling's cool for the reason that if brands aren't gonna make enough of something to fulfill everyone, then I think it's cool that there's stores that are taking the time to curate a selection for you to then have an opportunity. Yeah, it's terrible that stuff sells out and bots are like not that cool and stuff like that, but I think just the idea that there's stores who are devoting like their life to making sure that you have a second opportunity at stuff, I think is really cool.
So how can we get those shoes? I mean, what I want to ask is, can we buy these at round 2?
Probably won't sell them at round 2 just because we are a resale store, so it's a little weird, but
You don't do a release stuff?
No, not so much. I'm sure these will be at probably Undefeated, maybe like the Nike Sneakers app.
Like
probably
next
like
to you guys, next door.
Yeah, Undefeated's like our neighbors. We love them. We love them.
All right, last question. Since our name is called Awesome, so what's the most awesome stuff people bring to your store?
Man, I think the vintage items, that's my favorite. Like vintage t-shirts and stuff. I just like how unique they are. You know, I like a lot of stuff from the 80s, 90s because
Can you name one specifically?
yeah, like vintage hip hop stuff. I got a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and DJ Jazzy Jeff shirt from the late 80s that I think is pretty sick.
So how much are they right now?
I think those are worth maybe a few $100.
Few $100.
Yeah. I think it's a cool shirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
No, thank you.
Hope
I
can
appreciate
get
it. Thanks for
those.
having
Yeah.
me. I love this place.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.